Senatorial District, distinguished senators of the Federal Republic. The situation we have, I think I will move from the submission of Senator Adetunbi from Ekiti. The truth we must tell ourselves is that our country is becoming a failed state. We should call it the way it is. Any state where you cannot guarantee even safety of students, safety of farmers, safety of ordinary workers. Even as the elite of our society, we cannot even guarantee our own safety. I cannot travel from Abuja here to my constituency by road thinking that I will feel safe. So the question we first have to face is that we are in a failed state. So beyond the lamentation, the question we should ask ourselves is that are we totally helpless? I will say it is not the case that we are helpless, but we must rise beyond the fear of today, the fear of tomorrow, or the fear of temporary loss of any benefit or privilege. First and foremost, we must call the attention of our president. We voted for him. Nigerians voted for him, to the fact that we are consistently, as a government, failing in our responsibility under Section 14(2)(b). There should be a specific resolution in that one. It's a constitution. All of us here, just like our colleague earlier today, swore to uphold the Constitution. Chapter 2 of the Constitution is the fundamental directives and principles of our government. We are consistently, I will say it, not lay the blame on the door of Mr. President alone. As collective representative elected by the people, we are failing in that. Now, on the question of what do we do? Even at the level of the National Assembly, we have certain things we need to do so that we are not just passing the buck to the executive. March 17 this year, we passed a resolution adopting far-reaching conclusion of a security summit that we held. I have read that proposition. There are legislative actions that will help us, that we as a National Assembly have not even bothered to look at, and we just pass the buck that the executive should implement. If they don't implement, I don't think we are lacking in implementing legislative action. One of the legislative actions in that recommendation, those recommendations, is that one, we must decentralize Nigerian police along zonal line, that the decentralization will be operational decentralization and budgetary decentralization. So when we talk about insecurity, it's not just about the military force, it's about policing. Even what happened in Katsina, if there is effective policing, there could be an alert, there will be intelligence that would let us now know the level of intervention that is required. So, Mr. President, I want us, maybe when we're in the prayer, to go back. Let us look at that, our recommendations. What are the legislative actions that we need to do? And because I find it also indicting on us that the Police Act that we passed was after our resolution. This very far-reaching recommendation on the centralization of Nigerian police on operational and budgetary line was not included in a bill that we passed subsequent to when we have taken a decision. I think it's very important to look at that document, those ones that require urgent legislative action. Let us pass it on to the executive, and if they refuse to do it, let us veto it. Secondly, what this experience, I was confronted by journalists while speaking on behalf of the Senate last week, that at 5 different occasions, the date was cited. This Allo Chamber has called for the termination of the security chiefs. And what the handler of the executive, the president, is telling us is that we don't have the power, the president exclusive. Yes, assuming on the state of the law today we don't have power. But in National Assembly, by Section 4 of the Constitution, we have the power to change the law. Let us immediately look at our law now. As a matter of urgency, and make necessary amendment that empower us as elected representatives of the people to have a say in our security. to have a say in the unity of our country, to have a say in the security of our country. So we are not totally helpless and at the mercy of the executive alone. We must use the power that the Constitution has given us and that we have sworn to uphold in that regard. So therefore, we need to look at even the security architecture in terms of hiring and firing of handlers of our security, and let the National Assembly have a constitutional and legal role to be able to do so that we will not be running into a situation whereby we will be at the beck, we will be at the mercy of somebody who purportedly speaking on behalf of the president but cannot even win a councillorship in his constituency, rubbing it on us.
You can round up, distinguished.
Sorry, Mr. President, is that we need to immediately take urgent legislative steps to ensure that we dismantle and then reconfigure the security architecture of our country. I thank you, Mr. President.